Alright, so in the last video I was talking about a higher conscious, but really, where did that originate? Where did that come from, and what is it? Like, who thought of that? So as I said before, this idea of higher conscious or a higher state of mind can be brought back to Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. It's been part of who we are as a collective whole. And more, if you want to think about it more in a more broader sense, the higher conscious is more like a higher being, a higher energy field. And the idea of Hinduism and the idea of these sages, these people who have took on and embodied the idea of higher conscious actually goes back even further. You can think of the higher conscious as God, or the universe, or the light being. And that light being, that energy force has been on the earth, or if you want to go back even further, in the stars, or if you want to go back even further, was part of the whole entire universe as a whole. You see, we have come from stars, and stars create planets, and planets create cells, create organs, and so on and so forth, and then it finally creates you and me and this whole entire experience. So the higher conscious is more like an energy field. It's more like an embodiment of God. But we as humans have embodied this type of higher consciousness through meditation and through seeking well-being and wellness thoughts within our own minds. You see, when we are at a negative state of mind, or a mind that is not in alignment of who we truly are, and you can feel that. You can feel that when someone says something negative to you. You can feel that when you get something bad happens to you and you feel negative or poor about yourself. You have this feeling of hurt, of pain, of sorrow. Those are the feelings that are not associated of a higher conscious. That is more of a lower consciousness. And when we're in lower consciousness, we're not in alignment with the universe, with the higher consciousness, with everything else. But when we feel love, when we feel joy, when we feel a sense of peace within our own selves, not necessarily putting it on another person or putting it on an item. And when I mean putting it on, I mean that you're finding joy within jewelry, or you're finding joy within a car, or your partner. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding true peace and true joy within yourself. And that takes meditation, and that takes time, and really just a change of thought. But once you feel it, and everyone has felt this feeling before, maybe you're not aware of it, but as you become more aware and you become more conscious of it, you begin to move higher into this higher consciousness that allows you to seek new things and be more happy as a universal collective. I like to explain a higher consciousness not really as a spiritual thing or a religious thing, but more as a universal thing, as a purpose-driven thing. Like, everything in this universe is relative and is all connected. We're all one, and we're all going through this together. We are born from stars, and we've been created from the dirt of the ground, and it's been proven through science, and it's been written through religion. But as we continue on today, we see this higher consciousness in everything and in all we do. Now, there's different ways that we modern humans can reach this higher consciousness. You don't have to go to a church, become a monk, or be part of religion. Now, you definitely can. I'm not knocking any type of religion, because you can. Those are ways to get there. But another way of doing it is losing hold of our ego. And that is basically understanding who we are as a collective, as understanding who we are as a person, and realizing that the person that we have assumed that we are is just the ego, and that everyone that we've encountered has attributed to that ego. But in actuality, you're not that ego. And the reason I know this is true is because at any moment I can change who I am. I can become a totally different person if I wanted to. I can become a ruthless savage that hates every single person at all times. And that can just become I can become a totally different ego. Or I can become a really skillful skater and I can just embody that. So really you get to choose that ego. But really you get to choose that ego. But first, in developing a higher consciousness, you need to understand who that ego is, what that ego is, and letting it go. You want to move into a less biased or of a universal perspective of who you are. I truly believe that we're all spiritual beings living through this vessel of a human body. I believe that we are actually pure love, pure energy. I am just moving through this body. It seems pretty esoteric and seems pretty weird, but if you look through the Christian faith, the Catholic faith, Hindu faith, almost in all religions, it's all have the same parallels, saying the same things. And if you look closely enough, the universe will show you that we're all just one. And once you get to understand the origins of higher consciousness and who we are, you get to break down the ego and you get to detach from all the things that you used to be attached to, from the fear, the aggression, from all of that. You get to push that aside and truly live on your own terms. So the origins of who we are is truly magnificent, it's truly powerful. And that is my message to you. And I hope somehow, some way that I can connect to you and I can show you and I can give to you this knowledge. Really just look and try to seek your inner self. Maybe you can find it. But until next time, I'll see you guys.